I'm not on it. I'm trying to be on it, but I'm not on it. There's that. Sean, how did you do this before? Oh, like that. There we go. Evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Real Northern Bass Talk live stream. Appreciate you all showing up again. More than anything, I really appreciate everybody that showed up last week too, which was a very kind of different and impromptu live stream in the sense of the overall structure and what was discussed, who we had on. It was just myself and Sean Graves, but for a very important reason. And, it wasn't monetized. There was no sponsorship involvement or whatever. That was just me as a New Hampshire angler speaking on behalf of other New Hampshire anglers. And it's something I want to readdress. Last week, New Hampshire Fish and Game proposed put forth a new tournament rule proposal that was going to ban all bass tournament weigh-in tournaments on lakes under 500 acres and then limit the tournaments to 10 total per year on anything over 500 acres, with the exception of Winnipesaukee, which would have no cap on the number of tournaments, just weigh-in tournaments. They offered nothing to explain whatsoever as to why they proposed these rules. And that was a big deal. And after some phone calls to Fish and Game, it was determined the only reason this was proposed was because waterfront property owners and lake association members were complaining that they just didn't want us on the lake and that we were clogging the boat ramps. False. Fish and Game, part of the tournament process is you're only allowed to take up 50% of boat ramps on any given lake. On top of that, I believe the total number is less than 20% of all publicly accessible lakes that have a boat ramp in this state actually have tournaments on them. And again, we're only allowed to take up to 50% of the parking spots. After that, if you need more, it's on the club's responsibility to try and find a solution for the rest of their parking. So moot point, and nothing else provided. So we talked about that a lot last week. And 2 days later, Fish and Game came back and announced that they are rescinding those two rule proposals, specifically on the ban and limitation of tournaments in New Hampshire. Good. But also, why did they do this to begin with? How could they do this without having an open forum to discuss it? This should be a mutual relationship between Fish and Game and tournament anglers, because let's face it, a lot of what Fish and Game gets for their funding comes from fishing licenses. So that's not a threat. That's just a statement of fact. That's the way New Hampshire Fish and Game's department is structured to get their funding. So this should not be operated in such a way that it's in a vacuum, right? Especially when it has really far-reaching impacts for what people here that pay for their fishing licenses can do to enjoy the state. And then, that funding that does or does not go to Fish and Game in the end. Not to mention all the tournaments that they would be eliminating, and the revenue that could have come from that is now gone as well. There's a whole host of reasons as to why that proposal never should have gone straight to legislative action, or at least attempted to, prior to having that conversation with tournaments. They do that with hunting, where if there's a significant change in what they want to do, they have a forum to discuss this with other members of the state before moving forward with formally proposing it for it to go into law. So I know I'm repeating a lot from last week, but the most important thing is, while they did say that they rescinded it, I think it is still extremely important that everybody be present tomorrow, Thursday, August 21st, right? Do I have that right? Yes. Thursday, August 21st, 6 p.m., New Hampshire Fish and Game headquarters at 11 Hazen Drive in Concord, New Hampshire. It's very easy to find if you go on my Facebook page, whether my personal or the Real Northern Bass page. I did make a post about it last week and included a picture of where the building is located, so you can see exactly where the entrance is. There is an insane amount of parking available there, so you don't have to worry about potentially getting in and not being able to park. So I strongly encourage everybody to still be there to voice their concerns. There are other aspects of this rule proposal that are coming through that still need to be questioned, but more than anything, we need to ask that question: how did you think this was going to work out? Why did you think it was appropriate to propose this without having an open forum discussion on it? What can we do to avoid this in the future? Like those are kind of the really big questions that we need to ask and force that conversation to get answers, or at least start down a path of how we can more constructively discuss these things before moving forward with trying to fix them, especially in the case where there is no issue that needs to be fixed. So I will still be there tomorrow. I will be there with my oldest son. I'm kind of dragging him along. I need him to understand why it is we constructively handle these kind of conversations. especially when it kind of comes to your state government. And I would say in this case, very much appropriately, an overreach and what they should and should not be allowed to do. So it'll be there. I know there's still going to be a ton of other people that are going to be present to voice their opinions as well. I do ask everybody keeps it civil and constructive, but that you still have the difficult conversation tomorrow. So I really hope to see a bunch of you there. Remember, as Sean put it last week, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'd be willing to bet.
You're pretty squeaky.
Yep. I would be willing to bet a significant amount of money that there will be waterfront property owners and Lake Association members present at this to still try and get it on the books.
Yeah, they would say.
They shouldn't. They should not whatsoever. If this is an issue of public access, then that's a conversation we need to have. Because while the ban in theory would potentially help by reducing the number of weigh-in tournaments, it doesn't, because it puts zero restriction on catch picture release tournaments or catch measure release tournaments. So it does literally nothing to solve an issue that they made up. Food for thought. I really hope that anybody that can make it really does make it tomorrow night. We need physical bodies there. We need to be the squeakiest of wheels, and we need to make it known that this is simply unacceptable, and we need to avoid that. So that's it. I'm off my pedestal. Now we're going to go talk about fun stuff. We are joined, obviously, Andrew here. Sean Miller's back as usual, and we have a new guest, Mike Corbishley, who is well, you know what? Sean brought him on, so I'm gonna let Sean do the proper introduction.
No, keep it going.
No, I've already just talked for 8 minutes straight.
Oh, shut up.
and I'm gonna be a little rude in the first few minutes here and answer a few texts about this organization for tomorrow night for the public hearing. So Sean,
sounds good. I'll take it from here. As Sean said, we are joined by Mike Corbishley. He is with Phoenix Boats. He is their sales rep in our neck of the woods up here in the Northeast. Also a professional angler, NPFL, fishing the Bassmaster Opens this year.
Ooh.
First shot at the EQ, which he qualified for. And he's going to be trying to earn his way onto the Elite Series. So thank you, Mike, for taking the time to join us today. And I guess we're going to talk about Phoenix Boats, but it's not off limits to talk about anything fishing related. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. No, it's that was solid. I like you said, I don't know actually though if I want to qualify for the elites or not with the state of fishing. I really like my job and I'm just enjoying fishing, traveling and fishing.
Well, you did win an NPFL event, so
I did. That is a true statement. Yeah. I've always been work first and fishing on the side, but appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do we want to start? I mean, I guess we could go. Let's start from the beginning here. How did you get your start fishing, and when did you realize that you wanted to turn it into a career?
So I started with the college fishing stuff. It's blown up big time in the past 15 years or so. I went to ECU, East Carolina University. I live in North Carolina, and essentially, I graduated in 2016, but I fished all the way through college, and I learned pretty quickly that, I wanted to do something in the industry or fish, like anybody else. I was like, I want to be a professional bass fisherman. Went through the whole process of trying to get sponsors and all that, and having the plug pulled on those sponsor deals to where it's like, how am I going to do this and survive? And, and so I was like, well, the next best thing. And I was very fortunate enough to get offered a job working for Lowrance for Navico. So I started in 2017 working for Navico, who owns Lowrance, Simrad, CMAP, and is now owned by Brunswick. But essentially had a job offer down in Florida. So I moved down to Jacksonville, Florida for a few years, and I was the rep for North Florida, pretty much Orlando North across the Panhandle. And then 2 years after that, there was a position that opened up as basically the bass boat volume boat builder rep. So I was calling on all the bass boat manufacturers that build over a few hundred boats a year across the country. anything from, Phoenix to White River Marine. That would be, your Nitros, your Rangers, your Tritons, Bass Cat, Bexus, Skeeter, you name it, pretty much all of them. So that was my day job for the last 7 years. And my favorite account was always Phoenix, and I was blessed with the opportunity to go work for Gary Klaus and the crew over in Winchester, Tennessee. So it's pretty hard to say no. So like I said, I've got pretty much North Carolina through the Northeast, like you said. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Getting to work with all the dealers and getting involved with the everyday retail customers and just trying to grow boat sales. That's basically it.
So were you fishing out of a Phoenix before you worked for Phoenix?
Yeah, I've had 4 Phoenixes now. So
what model?
I'm in a 21 XE currently. I've had 920s. My last several have been 920s and 21 XEs. I love the 920. I just got a 921 Elite X just to round out my portfolio of boats that I haven't been in. But man, they're all phenomenal. Like
Wait, you have them all right now?
No. I wish
he can just, he's like Jay Leno, Andrew. He can just go to his garage and pick out the flavor of the day.
I just picked the one I want to drive that day. No,
he has a carousel thing that turns around too, Andrew, that always faces it out. Yep.
Carvana boats.
Yeah.
He has a lazy Susan for boats. Yes, Sean.
That would be so
goes in there and just spins it. Which one are we getting today?
Like where you're driving down the highway and you see him like spinning around and
get to the ramp. Hey, gents, can anyone back this up? Because I just drive forward all the time. So like I pull into my house forward and I pull out forward because I have a spinny thing. So can you back me into the water?
Yeah, no, they're all awesome. I've pretty much had one each year for the last 4 or 5 years. So
what's your favorite?
They all have their place. I think all around the 920 is probably my favorite. Big water, that 21 XE is unreal. Like if I lived in the Northeast, it's tough to beat that. 721 is probably your best. If you were looking for speed and just wanted to be, as far as the hull and everything else on the 721, best value is 721. That's our best selling boat. Yeah. They're all awesome though. Like I said, they all kind of have their place. Like if you're a guy who you need a little bit more garage space, or you don't have the garage space for a 21 foot boat, like the 919 is there. Or if you're a guy who always is fishing small fisheries or running up rivers and stuff like that, that's where those boats shine. And if you're a price point guy, you can work down to the 818s and stuff like that to where, you can keep your costs down a little bit. Everything's expensive, but at least it's a little bit more cost effective and you can get out on the water. So they Phoenix builds, an entire line of boats, but essentially they all have their place and there's certain ones that sell best in certain markets, for a reason. But if I lived up by you and I fished big water all the time, I'd probably be in an XE. If I had, unlimited money to spend on whatever, I'd get an XE. So
yeah, we put $40,000 into an XC when I was working at Bass Fishing Electronics.
I remember that boat because I remember when Phoenix announced it, I was like, "Oh, that's gotta be my favorite boat by far, just for looks."
Yeah, and then it showed up, and I was like, "Oh!" Yeah. And I saw the stuff we were putting, I was like, "Oh!"
Yep.
God.
Steven's got one on the way. Speaking of XEs.
Oh, did you know what his new boat is going to be?
Yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to publicly announce that. Maybe this.
He probably would hate for saying that.
He probably would.
I don't know if he's announced that yet.
Steve? Yeah.
He likes to make a big to-do about it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
He's quiet.
Sorry, Steven.
It hasn't been delivered yet. You could all of a sudden get a text message. I'm not taking it.
Yep.
He's probably gonna text me. Tell that kid to shut up.
He doesn't watch anymore. It's fine.
Yep.
That's oh man. It's funny. Like I desperately wanted to go into a Phoenix
Mm-hmm.
but the timing of my purchase was end of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And timing wise, with just buying a new truck, because I had a 2006 Tundra, 204,000 miles, a bunch of stuff was started going. I'm like, okay, it's time. So I got a truck.
Yeah.
And then like so I got that April of 2023. Yeah. And then in July of 23, I blew the motor on my Skeeter. And I was like, okay, well, thankfully, Reynolds stepped up big time and they worked with Yamaha and they got it kind of resolved because I would say mostly resolved and covered because it was a recall that wasn't handled by either the previous owners, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, okay, time to go look. And buying the truck, the timing just screwed me. I couldn't look at brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted a 21 with a 250. Like I had a 19 with a 200. We'd gotten our teeth kicked in one too many times up on big water.
Yeah, it hurts.
It does. Anyway, I really desperately wanted one. I unfortunately still could not quite get into it, dude. And the thing is, those Phoenix hold their value so insanely well. I couldn't even get into like a 5-year-old 721. And I take that back. I could have, but it would have had like 400 hours in the outboard. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
They're like Tacomas.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like anything, like when you first buy any boat, the value drops, right? But if you look at a 2023 or 2024 or 2025, they're all within 10 grand of each other. Like if you try to buy a used one, I mean, they hold their value pretty well.
Yeah. And I meant to say something earlier too, when you were talking about all the various hulls and kind of the best pro feature about them, if you will. You know, what's the best thing that you could speak about them? You brought up the 721 and how it's a little bit of a faster hull.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100% right. Not that I'm questioning you whatsoever, but you know, with our buddy DJ has a 721 and that thing flies. I've been out with him in it as like his co-angler for a couple of tournaments and just going out fun fishing. He let us borrow it when I was in between boats when I blew the motor on my Skeeter and we went up to Champlain, and that was a boatload of fun. He let me borrow it for a week. Like I blew my motor at the BFL on Saturday, and then 48 hours later, I was supposed to start a full week of guiding kids at a camp. So he's like, just borrow my boat. And even with myself and, you know, 3 16-year-olds in it, dude, we were doing 60 across 2-foot chop, and it was comfortable.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? This, like, I had never been in his boat in like really ugly chop, even the day we borrowed it.
Yeah, the day he brought me out in it at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
In like 2 to 3 footers.
I don't think I want to be in any boat in 2 to 3 footers at 10 o'clock at night. I'll be honest.
With you.
But I guess if you're in a Phoenix, it's better.
It was great. I mean, we made it.
Yeah. That was by far the most surprising thing about that hull was not only is it a friggin' rocket, but holy hell, does it handle rough water great? And that's not a hull that typically people really speak to that. At least in my experience, when I was trying to get a better understanding of, you know, what I was trying to dial into with the budget that I had. But then, you know, really experiencing it firsthand, being behind the wheel, is like, holy hell. And it doesn't look like a boat that you would think would have that stability, because it kind of narrows down, not super fast, but more than you think up front. And yet it's deceiving because you still have plenty of room up there. But oh my God, like I can't get over how phenomenal that thing was for balance of both speed and rough water performance.
It's a very good handling go-kart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's that 721 for you. Like that, you're spot on. I mean, it's, and since they changed to the ZXLs 2 years ago now, you know, the ZXL was the pro models and then went to the ZXLs. The deck got wider, but that hull on that boat, I mean, that is the original hull, that 721 that Phoenix came up with when the company started in 2009. I mean, that's the whole, like that's what made Phoenix what it is today. And long, you know, too. Yeah. I mean, it's 2011. Yep. So just shy of 21 feet, but you know, and then when you get into the elites and stuff like that, the Elite X, it's 20, you got like the 920 is 20'6". So it's a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit wider deck. And then, you know, some upgrades with features and stuff like that. And then the 921 is 21'6". So it's a little bit big. I mean, that's a barge. The 921 is, but it's still fast. I mean, you know, you're not running, you know, I mean, you can still run the one I've guys will run 71, 72, loaded down. So, I mean,
doing
And-
70.
72 in a 21.5-foot boat, which, I mean, I've seen him run 75, but I'm not a guy who plays with props 24/7 and moves tackle around the boat and all that. I mean, I'm talking a realistic load. You know, your 721's a mid-70s boat.
Yeah.
You know, and then 920 is about the same. 21 XEs is a true 70-mile-an-hour boat. But I mean, that boat is like, it was kind of going back to what you said. So I fished a tournament last year on Saginaw Bay, and it's the first time that I have ever been, which, I mean, I've fished Erie and I've fished a lot of big water, but that's the first time. So I think I spent 6 hours of my day driving and through like 2.5 fishing when we went to Saginaw. And it's the first time that I did that 3 days in a row where like the end of the event rolled around and I wasn't just like, oh my gosh, like felt like you needed to go into a coma, you know, like that boat. You just cruise at 20 miles an hour because we were in four footers. I mean, there were solid waves. You can't go fast. I don't care what boat you're in. But the key is how well the boat handles it, and if you feel like you're getting beat up, you know what I mean? When you get into water that big, and then when those waves calm down a little bit and it's 1-2 foot chop, you can cut through it.
Yeah.
And you'll that's when you pass everybody because they're still getting, you know, the bouncing around effect, and you just don't have that in that boat. But all the holes they do a phenomenal job with it. Those guys, like Gary and Teresa, Gary Klaus and Teresa Johnson, like they have a long history with that. And Greg Strom, who designs the holes, Tim Trockenbrot, you know, Jeff Hartung, like they all have a long history of building boats from Stratus to Hydrosport to, I mean, you name it, they've been around the block. It's a small industry. Like these guys have been doing it for a long time, and it's a very industrial approach too. Not trying to give you like a 40-minute sales pitch on Phoenix, but it does get me excited talking about it because
it better, I mean, you work for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. It is cool though. I mean, the people are phenomenal, and essentially, and that's a big part of it. That's a part of why I love my job. You know, if you have an issue and you call up to the plant, like you're going to probably talk to one of the decision makers and people who built the company to what it is today. Like if you have a question, they're going to shoot you straight. They're not going to BS you at all. And I mean, like I said, it's a very industrial approach. The way they design those boats it's not extreme. Like most of the features, they're not extremely fancy. It is built for functionality. I mean, Gary fished the elites the past few years. He is, I mean, and they have a very solid pro staff. I mean, I think there's like 50 guys across the 3 tours or 2 or 3 tours, whatever, how many pro fishermen there are now, but there's about 50, I think, in Phoenix. And essentially, you know, all those little bits and pieces and features are direct feedback from those guys who are using it every day of their lives. You know, I mean, the goal is for the boat to work and fish well. So,
and that's one of the things that's still like looking at the progression of feature upgrades that have come out on a lot of these boats, and especially, you know, the premium brands. Mm-hmm. Some of the features that they've brought out, I'm like, God, that just is not bad. It's glorious, but there's a lot of potential for problematic disaster when things go wrong. Whether or not it may be an easy fix, it's not an easy fix on the water. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that about Phoenix, and still seeing how they still have that very industrial approach to it. While, you know, there's some of the things, like a lot of the controls are still very much like analog, if you will.
Yeah, rocker switches and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Other places have touch screens and retinal scanners, you know.
Yeah. Hey, and I lived that. I mean, I sold that stuff for Lowrance for years, so like I'm I've seen both sides of it. You know,
I mean, it's definitely cool to have a little bit of the technology and like the touch screen this and the touch screen that. But like that's the first thing to go with all the electronics, right? Like on and off, you got a 50% chance of getting one of them right? But like when it's like a series of code and a bunch of other stuff behind there, to like your finger touches this and this does this, like that's just a recipe for disaster. As far as
I think there's things that sell boats in a showroom floor and things that sell, you know, there's things that sell boats and showroom floor that are great. And then there's things when you're on the water that you probably would do a little bit differently. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some of those features are pretty cool, and there's some good stuff out there amongst other boats. It's just the approach that Phoenix decided to take, and I mean, I'm a big fan of it. So
yeah,
you know,
when are they making a center console?
I don't know. I don't.
Maybe
that'll be my 5th one though, or my 6th one.
Andrew wants a flat bottom air bay boat for the Everglades.
I don't want an airboat. No,
dude.
No.
I keep thinking like I'm looking forward to paying off my nitro because I still want a Phoenix. I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up you. Like I genuinely like that is my target boat. Love my nitro. It's getting the job done, so I'm good for now. But it's still very, very small voice in the back of my head. Like that's still the long-term goal. Let's get it paid off and trade up. However, you talking about center console, there's a part of me like if I don't know, let's say I got a phenomenal work bonus at the end of the year and there's enough to pay off my boat, I could very well easily then now I got like insane equity.
I got one for sale.
I could roll that into a brand new Phoenix, or I could buy a second boat and make that a saltwater boat.
Get a little Boston whaler.
You can't have too many toys, man.
No,
yeah. I have a very sick obsession with stripers right now, and I really want to be able to go fish for them more often.
Yeah.
You should try my.
I can't say I've taken my Phoenix out there, but I mean, hey, why not?
Well, we haven't taken the nitro out yet, but we did take the Skeeter a bunch.
Wait, yes, we have. We've taken the Ranger. It's brackish water. I said the Ranger, the nitro. We've taken it, but that's brackish. I'm thinking like pure salt. Like where we go on our guided trips.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, it ain't a prayer in hell to take my boat up through that because we won't make it through that chop.
No.
What is this center console? Not that it really matters.
20.
It's a tall gunnel, and dude, even that thing barely makes it through where the river dumps out. Like it's wild. And like I thought about it. I was like, oh, it'd be sick to bring my boat out there, like especially if they're out in the flats in the river. And he's like, they're not in the flats, and we go out through that chop. I'm like, we're not taking my boat out here.
It was like 6, 7, 8 footers, 9 footers. It's like, no, we're not doing that.
We'd die before we got.
That's just not for bass boats. That's just not for bass boats. No. I mean, I got stuck in like true 6s and 7s on Erie one time, and I mean, again, that's like I don't care what you're in, it's not fun. Like. They sink barges in like commercial workboats out there in waves that
was
big.
Us on Lake Ontario.
Dude, as bad as that was, I shit you not, the BFL I went through last year on Champlain was insanely worse than that. It was by far the most like frightening experience I've ever had in my boat before. Like we rounded the corner from Point de Roche to come back down to Cumberland Head to get into Plattsburgh, which is not a far run. And like, dude, we came out of the calm and that song about the Edmund Fitzgerald just started playing on loop in my head as we're trying to get back. So we're going to sink. This is bad.
It's a good song.
It is a phenomenal song. I really thought we were going to die on that lake that day. This was
I was doing
10
fine.
miles.
That tournament, though, you heard of more destruction in that single tournament than I heard like all year and in many, many years on Lake Champlain. Like, everyone broke something. Multiple people broke a lot of stuff too. Like a lot of stuff.
I believe I like conservative guess 2/3 of the people fishing that BFL that day came back with something broken.
Yeah.
I got lucky. The only thing I broke was the latch on my little drawer underneath my passenger console. That's it.
And your motor.
No. That was
touchy subject, Andrew.
The locking collar on my Ghost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The motor was the year before.
There was two people that we're friends with that broke, or that I'm friends with that broke something on the Phoenix, and they took care of them, but very quickly getting it fixed. So yeah, shameless plug for you, Phoenix. Took care of everyone. But I remember everyone came back and it was like tattered and torn. People were missing graphs, like trolling motors were falling off, graphs were falling off,
and that's what like I was talking about, like slowing down to. Like super slow speeds, like 20 miles an hour. Everyone's like, oh, my boat will run 90 miles an hour in 3-foot chop. It's like, yeah, I mean, it can, I guess, but well, it probably can't. But I mean, it might be able to run fast, but that's the difference in like, I've strapped my trolling motor down and all that stuff. You know, when you make long runs like that, like ratchet strapped it to a cleat. Because if something breaks, like if you drive 2 hours to get to your fish and your stuff falls apart, like there's no point in being there.
You're 100% right.
So you're better off just taking your time and, you know, yeah, because you can do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You could do it in a tracker. You could do it in a little aluminum boat. It's just a matter of how comfortable you're going to be. And, you know, are you going to hate yourself at the end of a 2 mile or a 2 hour ride?
Right. Yeah, get back. And, how'd it go? Doctor says I need it back the enemy.
Yeah. So, no,
I had fun on that aluminum boat.
No,
yeah, I mean, aluminum boats are a blast. I mean, it's just,
I got to use the Express 21X Pro or Pro X, whatever it was, for a week with the Show 250 on it.
yeah.
I think it was a blast.
That was a neat boat.
That was a go-kart. That thing was stupid.
So
I'd still rather a Phoenix.
yeah, true. So I want to ask, but I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. So don't say anything if you can't. I am curious. Is there anything like really special in the works from Phoenix? Like really kind of going outside the norm here?
I don't think I can get into too much stuff. I've seen some things behind the scenes that are pretty cool though, that they're working on.
Nice.
I mean, I can't really give you behind the scenes info. They're always working on new stuff though.
Very enlightening, Mike. Thank you.
I know. I mean, I'm not trying to give you a politician's answer.
No,
very
no,
much
no,
one.
sure. I think Sean feels compelled to ask because like we have to ask, but like
yeah, you have.
If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
No.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Well, so from my background, I've talked about it actually quite a few times recently. I'm formerly a mechanical engineer. Now I'm in more product line management. I work for a transducer company here in New Hampshire. And
which company?
Airmar.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, not to get off on a tangent. That's cool.
No, my entire background when I was a mechanical engineer was specifically new product development. So, you know, in a number of cases, literally starting with a napkin sketch and going through being responsible for the entire design, both 3D assembly, drawings, machining a lot of things, even at times, building test stands for it, like designing and building the test stands, running validation testing on all that. Like I've literally done it all for new product development. So anytime we get to talk about manufacturing, regardless of what it is, I kind of nerd out because I just really enjoy doing it for my career, even though I'm out of the engineering side of things. But I still kind of live half in that world on a daily basis. So I'm always intrigued by what the development process looks like, regardless of what the company or the industry is. So I know you can't tell us about anything fancy or, potentially new coming up, but I do wonder if you're able to answer this. And again, this is zero pressure from me. If you can't even touch on this, that's totally fine. Of any potential new projects that they've come up with that end up resulting in a new product, do they like really hit the ground running with a really, really solid plan that the moment they get to it, that they're like, yeah, that's worth pursuing, that it is successful? Or has there been like a couple of instances where they went fairly far down the road before they had to scrap it? They're like, this just is not panning out the way we thought it would. What's the batting percentage on new hull development? I guess the best way to answer the question.
To answer, like you kind of said it in both. To answer both your questions, I think they've seen both sides of that, right? Like there's that 721 they worked on for about a year and a half, and it got it right like the first time. I think that's literally an ad where Gary's like, "We got it right the first time," and I mean they did. That's a good one. But I've definitely scrapped some plans, along the way. There's boats I know that are still in development that have been going on for years, and I mean probably 5-6 years, and I haven't seen the light of day yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty adamant about making sure it's perfect before it leaves. I mean there's it's not a company to just kind of make something fast and put it out the door and say, hey, we got something new,
Yep.
So there's probably positives and negatives to that, where you could probably pick up some sales, but it's not going to help your company in the long run. I don't think. They're very, very methodical approach to a lot of new product development. But
not a lot of the stuff has changed though from year to year, right? So like it's just more of doing exactly the same thing that's been working. You see these other boat manufacturers, but they change this, they change that, they change the design of the consoles, they change the deck layout, they change this, like they change the switches, they change the hull stripes, patterns, gel, flake, whatever it is, right? They change the bow mounts, they change like the way the switch, like they change everything. And it's like there's like little tasteful upgrades throughout the years, but nothing like I don't want to say like monumental because like they obviously make a really great boat, but like there hasn't been any like major shifts or drastic changes from what's working. They're just doing at least from my perspective. It seems
you
like
walked around the Bassmaster Classic and you looked at all the boats in there, like there's not a boat that you would look at and be like, wow, that's totally different than any other bass boat I've ever seen. Like they all, like most of these guys all worked together at some point and had a bass boat, and there's different avenues and different lanes that all these companies have taken to position themselves in the market. I mean, like, okay, so like Phoenix is their approach on a Phoenix, and you can see this if you walk around the Classic and you go walk in the booth, you're like, okay, there's 5 different boats that'll be sitting on the showroom floor. One will have Lowrance, one will have Humminbird, one will have Garmin, one will have all 3 brands of electronics. One will have power poles, one won't. One will have Raptors, one will have you could put lithium batteries in it, you could put AGMs, you could put you'll notice there's upgrade features from like a 721 to an Elite X, like a slam latch, or like one of the things we did with the Elite X this year is the whole console's all through bolted with like new access panels. It's like things that make a difference. And then also on a Phoenix, like the biggest difference is, again, it goes back to that customization. Like you can run it however you want. You can pick all your colors. If you're a white boat guy and you want white and pink and green, it might look like a bag of Skittles, but you can have that. I mean, that's there's other companies and they do a great job at what they do. But like one, for example, I mean, they've got 8 different colors you can pick. And they've got one brand of electronics, and it's a lean manufacturing process, and it helps with a few things like keeping costs down and things like that. But there's nothing that is particular about that boat in comparison to, where you have maybe too many options on a Phoenix. Like you can pick anything you want and customize that boat to however you want. So there's positives and negatives to each, but that's really the. Don't get red. I'm with you.
Alec has a red tin boat.
Red this year.
Alec, you have a red boat.
Self-deprecation at its best.
I think this was my first red one. But
One other question about, I guess, just the overall manufacturing process. Something I've always been really, really curious about. And again, if it's something you can't answer, then please don't answer it. How long does it take when they get to a point design wise? They're like, "Yep, I think that's going to be it. Let's cut a mold. Let's build a mold." How long does it take to build the damn mold?
Oh, from like an R&D standpoint.
Yeah, from the moment that like the design's locked and like, "Yep, we're going to do this," then let's make the mold so we can actually make the hull. How long does the mold take?
I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
Probably not long.
Is it like a couple days?
I've only been in the job for like this year. So. Now, granted, I've been calling on all the boat builders for the last 7, right? Like I've seen the manufacturing process of everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as how long the mold takes, I really don't know the answer to that.
No, that's fine. I was just curious because I've heard that the molds themselves are fairly pricey, but not overly pricey. It's the overall development cost it took through prototyping to get to the final design lock, and recuperating that cost. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of your mold design cost comes from. But
some of the smaller builders will really only have 2 or 3 molds. Like they'll only have 2 or 3, and they use those and they shoot them down the line.
But they're not churning out boats. I mean, like I was going to ask you too, like how many boats Phoenix produces on a given year?
Last year was about 1,000.
Holy hell! I was going to say a couple hundred, but damn.
No, I mean that's a lot more. Like you look at some of the other smaller boat builders, they're churning out 200, 300 boats a year.
Yeah.
You know, couple boats a week.
Yeah, your whole bass boat market, it's we think that it's bigger than it is. I mean, the reality of it is I mean, you've got your major players in that market, call it 10, and there's others that build a handful of boats and they're still relevant, but it's you've probably got 10 major players in the market realistically. And then when you look at it as a whole, like that bass boat market, it fluctuates. If you look at so they record all this stuff through like Stat Survey, anytime like a boat gets registered in different states and stuff like that, different by county, like everything. So like every time there's a boat sold, it's all recorded. And they started in like, I don't know, early 2000s or something like that. And the market's pretty consistent, typically anywhere from 8,000 to 12,000. Like COVID numbers were like peak, like 13, 14, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's, call it on average around 9,000, 10,000 boats a year. Is kind of what we've seen for new bass boat sales. Fiberglass, specific to fiberglass, right? Like aluminum boats. I mean,
that's crazy because that's not a lot.
Not really. I mean,
in the overall grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the grand scheme of things. So, I mean, it was a little bit lower the past few years, but that's because, I mean, nobody wants to spend money right now. I mean, interest rates are pretty high. It started to turn back around. We've definitely started to see it flip a little bit. But yeah, the past few years, I mean, it's like, how many people do you know buying houses right now? I mean, and that stuff typically comes first, Yep. There's still boats selling. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know
great.
guys
I gave up a 3% interest rate for a 7.6. Home buying. It was brutal.
Yeah. There's still a lot of people buying boats. I mean, I've seen people leverage their houses, you know what I mean? Like their single wide trailer to buy a bass boat. Like I'm not saying that's financially smart, but you're going to have guys.
It comes with a cover. You can sleep in it if you need to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't recommend doing that, but
Perfect.
But I mean, it's a lifestyle, I guess. I mean, guys are going to have their bass boats, So
Absolutely.
What is one feature that you really want to see in your boat that you don't have right now?
That I want to see?
Yes.
Can I ask you that question? I feel like I should Uno reverse that.
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I know.
What's one feature that you don't have in your bass boat right now that you really want to see in your bass boat?
A bass boat.
So for me it's a little different because I'm running a Blazer right now.
You don't have the net storage.
But I don't I do. It's not under the seats like Phoenix has. It doesn't have a cool little trap door.
That is a cool feature.
It is a pretty cool feature. But I keep my Ranger nets up in the front rod locker. There's so much storage on my boat. Like there's a ton of storage. I've got it loaded down, and I still don't even have it full. Like I still have a whole rod locker. I have a lithium battery in there. I've got a bunch of other stuff in there that I keep.
Yes.
Whatever. But I've gotten to the point where I've like stashed everything to try to balance my boat as best as possible.
Yeah.
And I try to leave it there. I mean, I carry a lot of rods. I carry a lot of tackle. I have to carry my anchor and, the flares and a bunch of other stuff. Thank you, New York State. 3 times the amount of rope that I'll need for like the deepest depth, which is stupid. It's a stupid New York rule. You'll never, ever have enough rope on your bass boat to satisfy the requirements. But I've got a lot of storage space. For me, it's not storage space. I think for me,
cooled live wells.
So for me, what I don't like, speaking of live wells, that's one feature that on my Blazer, it's a divided live well, but it's not completely separate. So I have to fill up the whole thing, and it's 44 gallons. I mean, It's a
Mhm.
lot of water, dude, and it
a lot
takes
of weight.
forever to fill.
It's a lot of weight, more importantly.
Is there one pump or two in yours?
There's one in mine.
Okay.
It's a lot of
Uh,
capacity for 5 pounds of bass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
Hey.
got him.
they keep it separate, 1.5 and 3.5. You know,
We do have
makes it
two
easier to
different
count.
pumps in ours. 2 different pumps, 2 different recircs, 2 different,
Yeah.
pump in, pump out.
I mean, I have 2 recircs. There's one
Mhm.
pump. There's one pump out, but it draws from both at the same time.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, like I kind of like the compression lashes, but I don't have that right now. I have 2 front storage compartments in the middle there. The one
Mhm.
seems appealing to me.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I don't know. It works for what I want it to do, but I want it like my cover doesn't fit well because of like graphs and other stuff. So like I just want a cover that fits, like that actually covers the boat.
Oh, dude, that's
Um,
a never.
I have a dual stack, and like the cover fits, but it's not like I can't trailer it.
If
Like,
if that's your biggest concern, I mean that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I just want to cover that fits. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. That's why I asked you. I didn't expect to be put on the spot
I don't
here.
know. I fire off like ideas all the time to guys at the plant, just like things that I think about. And going back to what you were saying, like working for Airmar, like when I was working for Lawrence, I had little ideas of things like that I wanted to see in bass boats and stuff like that I still hope they'll implement at Phoenix. But I mean, there's so many little things that add up, but there's not one big thing
That would change everything.
that would like change the way I fish. You know what I mean?
But it,
like
it doesn't,
and,
it doesn't
and when I
necessarily
say
need to
that,
be the way you fish, though.
huh?
I said it doesn't necessarily need to be the way you fish. Like, think about it, right? Like, it just kind of struck me. Like, I got to take
What about
my
a
graphs
rigging
off.
standpoint?
I got to take my graphs off, and I got to take my mount off
Mhm.
in order to get underneath the bow panel to do anything with the trolling motor or any wiring or anything like that. It's a giant pain in the ass. You got to take both graphs off. They both have locks. So you take the locks off. You take the screws out. You take the graphs off. Then you have to unscrew the dual stack mount. I have a Bigfoot. It's a BBT Bigfoot too that goes over the trolling motor, so I can fit it all. You got to take that off. Then you unhook all the graphs with the wires. You got to run them back through the hole in the mount. Then you got to take the 8 screws around the bow plate off just to get to what you want to get to. And then if it's something silly, then you got to put it all back together, right? Like ease of rigging, ease of working on things, ease of switches, fuse panels, all that stuff would be really, really nice. Changing out live well pumps, things being clean and easy to, clean in the back hatch there. That to me like sticks out. Some companies have done it and some companies still bury shit underneath like everything. You need to take out all your batteries to get to a live well pump. Like that's stupid.
Like
That's
nice
stupid.
Yeah, I guess it depends how many batteries you got in the boat.
Well, I mean, a lot of people in a bass boat are going to have at least 4, right? You're going to have a starting battery. You're going to have at least 3 trolling motor batteries.
If you're running 4 in ours, you don't have to take out the middle box to get to your pumps. If you're running 5 and 6 and spare prop and all that, that's where it starts to get because I mean they're still not gigantic boats, right? I mean, like but
you got to start putting a hole behind the console, behind the windshield.
Yeah,
Cover
I
plate.
actually did that. I'm not condoning this, but I drilled like a 6-inch hole.
That's what we do a lot of BFE.
For what?
That was before I worked at Phoenix, so I shouldn't even say that. But no, now I'll tell you what there is now.
Non-Phoenix boats?
Huh? Well, no, right behind the windshield, just drilled a big hole. I mean, it's terrifying to do if you don't work on boats.
Yes, I did it. The first one I did was on an XE, and I was shitting my pants.
To get on the console, but there's but now that on the Elite X's and on the XE, same thing. That new console, there's right behind the graphs, there's access panels, so you can just pop off 4 screws and get in there, which is really nice.
For rigging stuff on the console.
Yeah. Yep.
The console seems to be the easier one, but to try to get stuff from the bow all the way back to the battery, some of them have rigging tubes, some of them don't. Some of them you're like rigging and taping up underneath compartments. Like,
Yeah.
some of them are good, some of them are really bad.
I mean, there's a reason that guys charge to install electronics because it's not like an easy process. Phoenix is relatively, there you go. I mean, Phoenix is a relatively easy boat to rig, but I mean, I've rigged a lot of them. I spent a lot of time upside down in a bilge and in plants and stuff like that, just with my last job. And I mean, there's some that are like when they're loaded up with foam and they have a rigging tube that's 1.5 inches.
Oh my god! Trying to run a harness through there.
Yeah. It's a process.
Phoenix
It's a process.
is amazing to run a harness through, though. All you got to do is pull a little button panel off, and then you just feed your snake through, and right up front, good to go.
Yeah. Some are easier than others for sure, but Phoenix is pretty good.
Phoenix is good. Nitro's good. Ranger's okay.
Wait, really? Nitro's good?
Nitro's mint.
See,
Really
you know me. Anytime I need to touch that, I call you or I call Steve.
From a rigging standpoint, that's true. Yeah. What am I looking at here? Is that you upside down?
Yeah, we were rigging some stuff, and it,
Wait, can I blow you up?
That's perfect.
Whoa. Son of a bitch! I don't know which.
Come on, Sean.
I don't know which button it is.
Drag me over.
I can't do it.
No, still.
Where is it?
It's not that one. I tried them all, but
There he is again.
Told you, doesn't work.
Whatever. It's upside down. Everyone can see that, I think.
I can now.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you are. Your legs are up in the air. Like just don't care.
Just upside down, stuffed in a compartment, trying to grab wires.
I fit in a rod locker, and I used to.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah, I could crawl all the way up and hold the bolts to do the what the hell is it called? The freaking thing that latches the troll motor down. Yes, that thing.
The quick latch thing.
Yes,
Like
sure.
Troll tamer.
Troll tamer.
Knew I was gonna
I
remember
could crawl in the rod locker on nitros, and I think Rangers.
Dope. You know what I still need on my boat? Troll tamer.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
You're a ratchet strap guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now. But I really would like to put a troll tamer on the front of my boat, man. I'm
a fan of that.
little
Troll
hairy.
tamer. Yeah.
I broke the stabilizer bar on my Ghost a couple Saturdays ago on Oneida.
Holy hell.
That was fun.
I've bent mine just a little bit, but
no,
they're pretty durable. That's the
dude.
thing. When you're in rough stuff, though, stuff just happens. I mean,
dude, I looked up and I was like, where the fuck's my stabilizer bar?
Yeah,
like it was gone. Like it just broke off like from underneath where the threads were, and I'm like, okay. So like I'm trying not to run it like hard because it was rocking in the morning, and I'm like watching the trolling motor like bounce up and down, and I was like, and it's locked and stowed. I was like, oh shit. So like I tried to take it easy, and I was good about it. I strapped it down so it didn't do any damage.
Not to bore you with the nerdy stuff, but when it comes to those trolling motors, what ends up happening is like the standard, like from the factory, when you mount that stabilizer bar, and this is on any brand, Lowrance, Minn Kota, whatever, like the way that it's set up, like there's a reason they have that little adjustable collar on it. Basically, like it'll sit perfectly, but once that carpet starts to settle, it gets a little bit more play. I think the tolerance that like Lowrance actually recommends is like less than 1/4 inch on that from the deck. So from the bottom of that stabilizer bar. So essentially, like when that carpet starts to give more and more and more and more, all of a sudden you have 1 inch there. That's when your latch starts to get tension on it, and that's when you start to see those pieces break. Like I said, like that's across the board on any.
Yeah,
brand.
I bought a new stabilizer bar from BFE. Freaking $50-something shipped.
Yeah,
plus shipping. But anyways, I fixed it and I made it as long as possible, so like barely latches. But that thing is not bouncing at all. We're good. We're good for the time being. But I looked up and I was like, where'd it go?
That's funny.
That's what I want, an upgrade on my boat. That's what my peeve is, I guess.
Trolling motor.
Like a Phoenix?
Stabilizer bar.
Better.
I think I got one in the garage, man. I can help you out.
I got it already. I got it. I bought one from BFE. I tried to get one from a marina while I was out there. It was Saturday, and I called a marina, left a voicemail. They're like, "We're on the phone. We'll return your phone call." For faster service, you can text them. So I texted them, and nothing. I think it was Monday morning. I got a text message back from this thing. Oh, we don't really carry stabilizer bars, but we think we have one in the shop. I was like, yo, this was Saturday morning at 9 a.m. when you opened up. It's now Monday. I don't need it anymore. Thank you.
That's funny.
Anyways.
So hang on. There's a bunch of questions I do want to get to, but there was another thing I was thinking of. So Mike, you mentioned earlier where you both now at Phoenix and at your previous company with Lawrence, you throw out ideas that, you kind of hope to see. Most of them probably have not come to fruition. What is one feature you threw out that you would absolutely love to have on Phoenix that they're just not going to do for whatever reason, but something that you, one, are willing to share, and two, that you would desperately want to have?
I don't know about things so the one that I really want is still in conversation, but the one for this year, that was one of the differences between the Elite and the Elite X was the through bolted console, screws, you have everything was kind of screwed in before, and now it's all truly through bolted and you access everything through those panels. Right. So stuff like that. One of the cool things that was talked about behind the table. This wasn't my idea. This is Tim Trockenbrought's idea. Which was the little way bag hanger, little cleat hanger that comes out off of the back of the pump outs, live well pump outs, stuff like that. You can hang your bag right there and fill it up.
Holding it.
You've got all those are just little conversations around the table, the net storage, like you mentioned, that folds up and that kind of collapses and goes in there.
There's a little cleat next to your next to the driver's console there, next to the shifter. So you can tie up to the dock right there. That's brilliant.
I think I had a boat for 2 years before I knew what that was, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, you mean I can just change right at the console?" Yeah, yeah,
brilliant.
No, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that, I mean, like I said, I've been with Phoenix now. I think I started in April, so I mean, I'm still pretty new. I've known the guys for a long time. That was one of the cool things. When I worked with Lawrence, that was one of the cool things with my job. I'd help test the Ghosts. Early on, they were like, "Hey, we got to test this 360, the 360 breakaway system." And I mean, I didn't have much to do with the development of it, but I put it on my boat, and they said, "Go run this thing into stumps." So I got into standing timber field, and I ran into them at 100 miles an hour trying to break a prop shaft. So I've got to see some cool stuff along the way.
I'd be good at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember our drone?
Yeah.
30 feet up in a tree.
I got it. Need sandals.
That you did. He literally climbed a 30-foot half-dead pine tree in sandals. And I think the first branch was 15 feet up, but he went up like a bear and he got the drone down.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'm too uncoordinated for that. I'd definitely fall.
It was higher. It was 60 feet up.
Yeah, he was up way above my head, broke off mostly dead branch to use it that was 8 feet long to reach up and poke it. And it eventually fell through the branches. I had to catch it before it hit the ground. It's quite the video.
It's on video.
It was funny.
That's great.
Anyway,
there's 3 other questions that we had saved here. And Dogboat had an interesting one. Is the Phoenix manufacturing facility union?
No, they've got all full-time. I'm sure they got some part-time guys too, but I think it's 350 employees.
Damn.
that's a lot.
I hope I didn't butcher that, but
That's good.
but no, I probably did. No, but it's either 150 or 350. There's a big difference there. But
you're close.
But yeah, no, it's and that's one of the cool things. A lot of what I saw in my previous role, being in all these manufacturing plants for different builders, like you'd see layoffs and you'd see people leave and come back and whatever else. And like one of the issues that they run into in manufacturing across the country in any business is like guys going to work at a plant across the street for 50-cent raises. Like that happens, and that's one of the biggest issues that you see with quality from factories. But that's one of the things Phoenix has done a really good job at. They haven't done a major layoff. They didn't through any of the slowdowns or anything like that. They've got a pretty consistent, might have had to slow down some hours here and there, but they've had a pretty consistent group of people. It's pretty impressive. But so no, not union.
Nice. All right.
Good.
Mike Bradley wants, does Phoenix offer heated seats?
Oh yeah. Heated seats and now a heated steering wheel.
Okay. What model does this come on? Because we fished throughout the winter and that's going to be on my next boat. Both of those.
I think you can add it as an option. I think you can add it as an option to any of them now.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It is. I've built out 2 in the last
yeah.
So, all right, this is dumb. This is very childish, but it's funny. Like a throttle
I was laughing.
when I'm straddling it and chumming brown trout. I got something to hold on to. I said, dude, imagine if
chumming brown trout
come up out of the gunnel to like hang over the side.
That's genius.
That's why they have divided live well, Sean.
Exactly.
One for the fish,
truly
one for the fish, one for the brown trout.
Yep.
Finless brown trout.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of it. Just grabbing the steering wheel and the throttle.
Dude, that's why they make the little steps off the power pole brackets. The little two stepper thing. You know what I'm talking about?
That's an option.
Bar with little 2 things.
Yeah.
Why they make it so you can hang off the back of a power pole. That's what the motor leash is for. It's not actually to save your life if you hit something. It's to hold on to like this.
We have Phoenix branded motor leashes now too.
Hold on the leash on the hydrofoil and just squat.
Dude,
the leash is not there to save your life. It's for when you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
Grip and rip it.
Jeez.
Grat. This was kind of a 2-part comment to clarify, but what he was trying to say was, with the Phoenix wiring, is buying an aftermarket wiring system a waste of money?
Nope.
You can answer that just as well as he can.
No, I mean,
go ahead. I'll let you answer.
Well, just because I worked for Steve, we installed our own harness, which used our harness for dedicated power for all the electronics, all the gauges and pumps and all that other stuff runs off the factory wiring. But if you want to run a lot of electronic, you want to run 2 graphs up front, 3 graphs up front, 2 at the console, 3 at the console. You need more dedicated power for those. And an aftermarket wiring, C-Clear board, the BFE harness, what have you. It's all 6 gauge wiring.
Yeah, he doesn't screw around with that wiring.
No, it does not.
So I agree with you. No, don't. There's.
you're wrong, Andrew.
That's fine.
There's only half wrong.
I'm usually wrong anyway. So
you're right. But most boats, like the way they're rigged is, again, like most, and this isn't specific to Phoenix. Phoenix is pretty good about it. I mean, but like I've seen a lot of the way boats are rigged, and we've had this huge boom over the last 3-4 years, right, where you've started to see 3, 4, 5, 6 graphs, right? Like I think we've seen both ends of the spectrum. Like 5-6 years ago, it wasn't like you were balling if you had like 312s on your boat. You know what I mean?
If you had live scope, you were doing something right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of changed a little bit, but like, so you have to think about that. So like the 2021s, like 2019, 2021 boats that left, like most of those are rigged from the factory, and they go with like 12 gauge wire running, it'd be like an 8 gauge wire running to the console, and then you'd have like 12 gauge wire running from a bus bar from there, and like you're creating choke points and like voltage drop. So like if you pulled it up on your graphs, it'd be like, at the beginning of the day, coming from a 12 volt AGM, it'd be like 11.5 volts. So you're losing almost a volt getting to the console from there, right? Like this is talking about 4 or 5 years ago. when we started you can't even imagine the amount of customer service calls that the boat companies have gotten over stuff like this, right? And like, there's a reason that there's businesses like Steve's, like Bass Fishing Electronics exists. Like there's a need for it. Trent Palmer owns Sonar Pros in North Georgia, is one of my best friends. Like, here's the thing. So yes. So like, if you bought a factory rig boat, and this is speaking for anything, right? And you're like, it was rigged with like 2 HDS 7s or 2 Humminbird Helix 7s or whatever. Like, it's probably worth looking at your wiring, because there's a good chance that boat manufacturer didn't intend you to have 5 graphs on the boat. And that's where a harness absolutely comes into play. And it still does with new boats today in some aspects. The way that Phoenix designed that E2 harness was they took 3 or 4 different harnesses, might have been one of the BFE one, right? Like, took 3 or 4 different harnesses in-house to just test basically and see, hey, how can we stop some of this voltage drop? Because I mean, over half of the boats 3 years ago, like during COVID, over half the boats were leaving with more like 4 graphs or more, like crazy. So it was something to address. But essentially, and that's slowed down, but essentially you're looking at a 2-gauge wire that goes from a switch or from a breaker to a bus bar, essentially a little Blue Seas panel that's in the rod box. And from there, you've got independent.
You're right. I forgot about that.
What?
No, how they run the Blue Sea panel in the rod locker.
Yeah, with independent wiring to each graph from there. And it's there's no additional fee to add that.
That is the E2 wiring harness, correct?
That's the E2 wiring harness. And so like the way that that's a standard now on the 721s and on the Elite X boats. On the lower end models, it is an upgrade feature. But I mean, yeah, so I mean, as far as factory rig boats, it's about as good as it gets. I mean, they're solid. That's what I'm running on mine right now. I've run a Sonar Pros harness for the last 4 or 5 boats. Yeah. I mean, they're
I remember
solid.
seeing that when the boat came in, and I was like, "Oh, this is sick."
Yeah. But I think the key in with what you're saying, because I do agree with you from a standpoint of like there's a big difference, and we can go off on a tangent too on like 16-volt batteries versus 12-volt batteries, and like, does that make a difference in picture? The answer is no. It does not.
Correct.
But there is a big difference between 11 volts after voltage drop and 12.5. So if you have a 16-volt system in your boat and you've got wiring that's insufficient to begin with, and you've got higher voltage, it's just all it is you have that voltage drop, and it basically just
hides the imperfections.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. So because I have mine on a 2-way switch in my boat, where like I've got an AGM and then I've got a lithium. Yeah. And essentially, like, so if I have it on my AGM and if it's got full charge on my AGM and I swap it over to my lithium, like you don't see a difference in picture as long as you have sufficient wiring. It does clean up a little bit, I think. A dedicated house lithium, I think it does clean up a little bit of noise, but that's like I said, I can nerd out on this stuff for a while, because I've been down this rabbit hole. But yeah, so there's absolutely, if it's worth looking at your boat and seeing what you have rigged in there, and you can't take an 8-gauge wire that runs up to the bow and start plugging 2 graphs, a 360, and a live scope transducer into it. Like, that's where you're going to starve your system for power. You're going to start seeing issues, and you're going to be like, what's wrong with my live scope? It's like, hey, it's not your live scope.
You're literally choking it to death.
You're choking it. Yeah. Yep. It's like trying to drink a milkshake through a little McDonald's straw. You just can't do it.
Yeah. No. You got to suck real hard. Trust me.
Jesus Christ, Andrew.
It's true. You ever tried it?
Andrew, TikTok star sensation.
Hey,
3 minutes of Andrew sucking a McDonald's milkshake through a straw. This is great.
No, it's not even. No, it's a Capri
demonstration purposes only.
This is taking a turn, folks. This is exciting.
I'm just the guy in the
Jeez.
background that talks shit.
I do have a question for you, Mike. I'm gonna put you on the spot 100% on this one. I don't
Okay.
feel bad about saying it.
Yeah.
If you were to run a boat that wasn't a Phoenix, what would it be?
Full disclaimer, and for Mike's benefit, this is all theoretical talk. He has no harm or foul or any ill intention towards Phoenix whatsoever.
Yeah, this is just like being around the industry and doing what you do, talking to a bunch of people, like dealing with different dealers and stuff like that. What
I love the duck hunt, so I had an edge duck boat for a little while.
Hell yeah.
No, I like a 10 rig, No, I mean, honestly,
there's a sweet Sun Tracker pontoon boat, 18 foot, comes equipped with the Mercury 75 horsepower outboard, electric tilt and trim. It's great.
No, I mean, honestly, there's, and like I said, all these brands, like there's little things that they do well. I can pick out things I really like about certain brands and things that I don't.
Now's the time to say it.
They're both dead.
No, I don't know that it is. but I mean, there's, I don't know. I love the boats that Phoenix builds. I mean, there's people in the industry, like I can tell you from like a people standpoint, I think a lot of the guys at Basscat, like Rick Pierce, think a lot about the guys at Vexus, like Keith Daffrin, and I've had great relationships with those builders throughout my previous roles. Like there's certain companies that just have phenomenal people and they build a good product. Phoenix is pretty dang tough to beat though. And as far as the overall quality of the boat and the people, I gotta give you a politician's answer on that one. I can't really.
I had to ask.
Yeah, but I would probably have an aluminum boat outside of a Phoenix just because I like to hunt. Yeah. But.
Would it be a red bass tracker?
Hey, why not? Probably be some form of cano. They do make one of those cool little what's that new one they have, like the Max Prairie Wings edition Tracker makes. It's like I
haven't seen that.
I don't know, it's like it's a camo. They got their own camo pattern. It's pretty cool.
No kidding.
I don't know.
Oh, is that the one that has a camo seats now? Probably. It's like a olive green.
Different models.
Is it a tiller?
No, I thought didn't
Thayer's? It's a tiller.
Didn't Thayer's just post something like that?
Maybe.
It was like it was a tin rig with camo seats. It literally looked like someone went to like Amazon and bought like camo seat covers, like universal fit camo seat covers. It was pretty dope looking.
Well, if you're ever out this way, we'll go to the beach and go hunt ducks.
I want to go kill black ducks in the Northeast.
You want to go what in the Northeast?
Black duck hunting. It's a type of duck. If you have never duck hunted.
Black duck, yeah.
Yeah. We don't have them down here.
Why have I not heard of that?
Yeah, well, we do have some, but I've spent a lot of time hunting like timber in Arkansas, like hunting mallards and stuff like that. And I don't know. I used to be absolutely ate up with it. Like that's all I wanted to do in the wintertime. But
I deer hunt, so
yeah, you can only have so many hobbies. So now I just fish and
fish and duck hunt.
Yeah, which I am coming your way here in a few weeks for Champlain.
Yeah, dude, there's plenty of duck up there. Bring your shotgun.
Yeah. Take all the cormorant you want, I believe.
When are you up here for Champlain?
I think it's second or third week of September.
Dude, we should all try to get together after the EQ so we don't get you in trouble with anything.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
rules.
Don't start shooting off info.
No. What I'm saying is we're all close enough that we should try to get together like after while you're still up here.
That'd be cool.
One more time. When is the EQ?
I don't know.
Sometime in September.
September's a busy month.
September's a shit show for me.
September 18th through the 20th.
Second or third week of September. Yeah.
September 18th through the 20th.
Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen. My wife's birthday is the 20th, and then Mike, Mr. Dogbone here in the chat, we are guiding him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And then on the Monday the 22nd, I leave for West Palm Beach for an NMEA conference.
Well, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Mike
That's
and I will go have
cool. I
fun.
didn't know you worked for Airmar. I
Yeah,
mean, I sold them for a few years. That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
I even went to the Airmar training in South Carolina with
really?
with Peter Braffett years ago.
You know, I only knew him for a very short time before that. But you must have met also Zach Floyd.
I believe I did. Yeah.
Zach's been with Jemico for a long time. He's good.
Yeah. And who's the sales manager? Amy? Is that right?
No,
Amy?
Jen. Wait,
Jen.
wait. Sales manager or VP?
VP.
At Airmar?
Jemico, maybe.
Oh, Jemico. Oh, that was Jesus. Now it's
Yeah,
somebody. It's a different person now.
Awesome crew. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're all good.
Yeah. Jan, I think it was.
Grat, love you.
Oh, Grat, thank you very much. Hang on, we'll throw that up there. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Have a good night, sir. Damn.
Yeah.
That's very nice of him. Yeah, no, they're all very, very, very good people. Been here a little over 3 years. It's been good. They've been good to me. It's actually out a boat test all day today. Still went back into the office. But
yeah. And here we are talking about boats after work.
Yeah. I can't get enough of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, Sean. Was there any other questions? I know we covered everything from the chat. Is there anything that you specifically wanted to talk about, Mike?
No, I hope I didn't have the most boring podcast ever.
Oh God, no, far from it. I've never the worst we had, but no, dude, you're in the upper percentage here of good ones.
Because next time I'll drink a few beers, I'll give you more info.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you, Sean, for making this work. And glad we got to learn a little bit more about Phoenix. Again, I'm not saying this just to butter you up or anything or butter up Phoenix. Like I genuinely, that is my favorite boat, and I still do hope to get into a Phoenix, as quickly as I can. I'm not in a huge rush because I have a boat that works for me. And I just bought my wife a Grand Highlander, so
I love them because
a little bit.
they're friggin' rowdy.
Dude.
Awesome.
They're so good.
It's like a
looking.
2-stroke dirt bike. That's what those things are like.
I like that
Like
comparison.
a 500 2-stroke on the water. Right.
That's the way I drive them too.
Yep.
Mike, seriously, glad you come on, man. Really appreciate this. It was really interesting to learn a little bit more about the kind of some of the inner workings, at least what you could share with Phoenix.
Yeah.
And all this other industry talk, and you with your tournaments that you've got going on and upcoming. Wish you the best of luck coming up on Champlain. I won't say anything more than that. I don't want to impose on any potential rules infractions here.
Yeah.
And all the rest of
you. I don't want to be one of them.
No. We do not want that. Sean, Andrew, either one of you, parting thoughts, parting questions?
I mean, I do have a couple parting thoughts. I mean, next week is a very big week for Real Northern Bass.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. Next week, for those that are keeping track of this, because it's not in the video titles, but it's in the thumbnails. This is episode 199.
Yeah.
Next week, episode 200. And we're going to have quite a few things to give away. So more information will be coming out on that in the coming days. And of course, we got the show, Wednesday as well. We still do have one very special guest lined up after that. I don't know exactly when, but I got to get that squared away.
You guys,
I will be here the following Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
do not want to miss this one.
No, it's going to be.
But for next week though, it's really important that everyone tunes in. So
yes,
you have to be present in order to win. There's a lot of stuff going on. 200th episode. There's some cool giveaways. You have to be present on the live stream and interacting in order to win. We're not going to tell you how you do it quite yet, but you have to be there in order to do it. And there's also something else that's simultaneously happening with one of our partners to commemorate the 200th episode. I won't say what or when. Well, it's next one.
We could have done a Phoenix giveaway tonight. You should have given me a heads up on. I got some hats,
bro.
All right,
bro. I already got the winning ticket. ticket. It's mine. Okay.
I was saying we can fix this. Just entrust the free boat to me, and I will ensure it gets into the right hands. Of
Yeah.
an
You want?
appropriate
I said a hat, not a boat. Yeah.
Oh.
I'll take a hat. Kidding me? I love hats. I wear plenty of them.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Throw out a trivia question. I'll send somebody a hat. Throw out a trivia question.
How old are you?
How old am I? Yeah. All right. There you go. How old am
How
I?
old he is.
No, that's not a good trivia question.
Jesus Christ.
Give me what about, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, you know what we could do?
What's that?
Andrew's gonna love this.
There better not be a freaking dad.
Oh yeah,
joke.
no, it's gonna be okay. So you want to give away a hat to somebody? Okay,
Yeah.
whoever can come up with the absolute like most groan-worthy dad joke in the chat in the next 2 minutes, get a free hat.
Yes.
That's just for you, buddy.
We'll star them and then we'll vote on them secretly. Mike, if in the background here, if we star things, you can see. Can you see the comments on the right hand side of the screen there? So if we were to star something, do you see live and starred now?
In the chat on the right hand side of the whole StreamYard. Oh, on the very, very far right, there should be like a ribbon where it's like comments. Well, actually, I don't know what it looks like from a guest.
Comments, banners, media
Comment.
assets, style, people,
No, he won't
private
see all
chat.
that.
I
You
have
see-
to go straight to YouTube and watch it on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to have to do.
That's right. Because when my buddy Chris was always here in the background just to help manage comments, he had said the same thing. He was like, "That's why I had to make him an admin too, Sean, because he couldn't see any of that."
Gotcha.
Okay. That's all right. We'll make it work.
Dang, now I'm reading all the comments. Look at this.
There was a lot.
I haven't seen a dad joke yet though.
I see one right here.
Alex coming out swinging.
He wins.
What do you call it? Like needle? Does a duck with a boner drag weeds? Is that a joke? I don't get it.
Yep.
No, it's just freaking hilarious.
Nice.
That's not a dad joke, but it is funny.
Why do little people giggle when they run?
I don't know.
Grass tickles their balls, Andrew.
I only know really inappropriate jokes. I can't share anything on you. Oh wait, no, a good
Do
one.
it.
I'm totally gonna steal this one for somebody. Well, maybe not. What's heavier, a gallon of water or a gallon of butane?
Jesus Christ.
A
Is
gallon
the
of
water wet?
No, it's a gallon of water because the other one's a lighter fluid.
Ah.
I texted him the first part of that like a week ago, and the response immediately was, "Don't you do it."
Everyone's defaulting to
Dang.
Alec here.
Okay, Alec wins.
Alec, what do you have on these
Most.
people?
Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll? Ken came in and
Oh, okay. I just saw Drew Santiago. Okay, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. That was like 4 comments later. I got it. That's funny.
Well, you're the guest. You get to pick.
I think we're just gonna send Alec. Should we just send Alec the hat? He's got like 4 that I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't even know if they're considered dad jokes. But he's pretty committed, so I like it.
Oh man.
He is. Dude wants a hat. He's working for it.
He's just smart.
Mark,
Send me your address, Alec. I'll send you a hat.
Alec, if you can't get a hold of him directly, send me your address. I will email it to Mike. I got his email. If it ain't a trucker hat, I don't want it.
God, Mark. That was the best.
Mark's was not a dad joke. Northeast Bass Fishing. That was Uncle Joke.
Yeah, that's something I would say. Oh my God.
That was great though. All right, Alec did say if it's not a trucker hat, he
boys.
doesn't want it. But I'm assuming you've got a trucker hat. Who doesn't have trucker hats?
He said a tracker hat.
Oh, if it ain't a
Right.
tracker. Oh, Jesus. I was off by 1 letter. That's
But
my
it
bad.
could
Tracker
obviously
hat.
it could be.
I probably have a tracker hat.
Bro, just send him a Phoenix hat, and he'll be the
I'll
only
see if I can
dude in
find
a
it.
red tin tracker rocking a Phoenix.
Just,
So,
oh, I can't even say that out loud.
That's
That would have
right.
really got me in trouble. Never mind. I'll save that for after the stream. Okay. Anyway. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Greatly appreciate it. As Sean mentioned again, quick reiteration, 2 things. 1, next week, episode 200. It's a very special episode. Most important thing, though, tomorrow night, New Hampshire Fishing Game headquarters, 6 p.m. Public hearing on all the rule and proposals that they've come forth with. Please be there. Talk to anybody and everybody that you know that has had an interest in this conversation. If they can be there, they should be there. I will be there. I intend to and hope to speak at this hearing. We'll see how it goes. Mike, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank
Andrew?
you so much. We will see you guys next week, as always. 200th episode at Real Northern. At my
Almost.
goodness,
You almost got
Christ. YouTube.com/@realnorthernbass.com. Good night, guys.
Everybody have a great